How's it going, guys, and welcome to this live showdown between the Skaven and the Greenskins. In this match, I think we're going to go with Lord Scroll for our Lord. As far as our spells go, we're going to get Blessed with Filth, which imbues poison. I think that's pretty much good in every matchup, and it has a really nice kind of radius of effect. On top of that, the Pestilent Breath, or the Plague Breath, or whatever it's called, seems to be pretty good against lightly armored targets, so good against Savage Orcs and Goblins, and, a lot of the things that Greenskins will inevitably bring. And lastly, I think Vermintide is the other pick. So Vermintide is really good for kind of getting in the back line and just kind of triggering that rear charge leadership penalty on the front line of the Greenskins. But yeah, I think that should be fine. We're going to bring his two items as well. So let's get the Libra Bubonicus as well as the Rod of Corruption. All right, so we're going to bring the Warlock Engineer. We're going to strip down all of his spells. And all we really bring him for is just in case my opponent brings Azag, we can lock him down with the Howling Warp Gale. And then other than that, we just send him in the front line. He has good AP, so he can help deal with Savage Orcs. And he also has his More Dissension effect. So let's go ahead and get a front line of Plague Monks. I think they'll trade pretty well with most lightly armored troops. We probably want some AP in them. Let's get some Sensor Bears. I haven't really experimented with them too much, but if he does bring the Black Orcs, which honestly probably wouldn't be terrible against Skaven, just because they're so heavily armored, a lot of Skaven troops might struggle to deal with them. These guys could be pretty good. So let's do that. Let's also get the double Doom Wheel. I wonder how that would be in a front line. It's like kind of a... We just have to avoid like Orc, Boar Boy, Biggins, but I think the Fear and Terror could be incredibly strong. So let's get those two. Then get a couple groups of the Gutter Runners. We can actually cut one group here. Get these Gutter Runners with poison. We probably want some Clan Rats with spears in the back to kind of like defend against cycle charges. Let's go ahead and get some Skaven Slave Slingers for our last group, and I think that should be good. So definitely very reliant on the Doom Wheel. So if my opponent doesn't have the appropriate answers, then we should be good, because the Doom Wheel is kind of just running amok, and the Greenskin front line is going to be a lot to handle. But if he has like Orc, Boar Boy, Biggins, like the Broken Tusk Mob, and then he also has like Azag, Wurzog could also probably do pretty good, because Wurzog could use FG of the Get and lock it down, and then they could focus it with Goblin Archers or the Rusty Arrows or things like that. So there's definitely some counterplay from the Greenskins, but I'm thinking it'll be good. It's a very aggressive Skaven army. The one thing I didn't bring is Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres, I think if I hadn't brought the Plague Monk Sensor Bears, the Rat Ogres might have been a good choice. But these guys give you enough AP in the front line. And what's really cool about the Plague Monk Sensor Bears in this matchup is if they bring an entire front line of Savage Orcs, these guys actually have magic damage. So they're going to be able to surpass that physical resistance of 25%, I think it is. Yeah, 25%. And guys, these units right here, these, what are they called? The Gutter Runners with Poison actually did get nerfed to Mortal Empire. So when Total War Warhammer 2 launched, I thought they were extremely OP. Like, they could just kite things into oblivion. They seemed extremely accurate. So what Creative Assembly did is they actually nerfed the accuracy. So they don't tend to hit as much. I still think they're a pretty good pick, because with those snare nets, like Orc Boars and other things like that, can't really catch them. And the one unit the Greenskins have that can catch these guys, Goblin Wolf Riders, like they can probably honestly beat in melee. So let's get some spears back here just to prevent cycle charging Goblin Wolf Riders. Well, Goblin Wolf Riders probably wouldn't cycle charge in the front. It would probably be like Orc Boars. I don't know. We'll see. Let's also get our Slingers right here just hanging out. And yeah, they're definitely going to, I don't know. Hopefully they can perform. I mean, I don't know if he's going to have like Giants or anything like that, but you never know, guys. I think having like one group of missile units is going to be pretty solid just in the back line. And worst case scenario, if he has flying, I can just use the Gutter Runners as kind of an anti-air tool in conjunction with this Warlock Engineer. So good luck to my opponent. Let's do it to it. Army sizes are pretty darn similar. So yeah, I feel like Savage Orcs would be really good in this matchup. Like if you just have a front line that's like 4 Savage Orcs and 3 Black Orcs, I think that's really good. And it looks like that's something along the lines of what he did. Yeah, he has some Orc Boys mixed in with Black Orcs, which I think is really solid. Morgubs, Mangy Marauders, Forest Goblin Spider Riders, Orc Boars. So Orc Boar Boys. So they're not the anti-large variant, so the Doom Wheel should be okay. So we're going to come over here, take off the toggle skirmish mode. Let's go ahead and get ready and kind of try and head those guys off, because that's going to be a really good trade for us, I think. I think our Gutter Runners can outdo those guys like any day of the week. So we're going to take a few volleys in here, and we do have physical resist, I think. Yeah, and it looks to be going good. So we're going to keep kiting back. We don't want to like commit too easily. And he does have an Orc War Boss. So the Orc War Boss is going to be really good at taking out the Doom Wheels and stuff. So we'll just kind of keep skirmishing over here on the far side. It looks like he's coming in for the goodies right now. So we'll go ahead and keep advancing right here. And let's get these kind of lovely Doom Wheels going in here. Let's put them in 3 and 4, just so we can kind of micro those guys a little bit more effectively. Let's get those spears intercepting here, and let's keep pulling these guys back. And I think we'll be fine in that respect. So let's get these guys going here. Let's get the Sensor Bears and the Black Orcs. We definitely want to get that engagement going. So let's do a bit of a cross engage here, and we can get these guys here. And great. All right, so Scroll, we need to make sure he gets in the front line as well. And the Doom Wheel here, we can go ahead and pull it back now. Let's pull this Doom Wheel back as well and have it kind of ramshackle these guys. And the Slingers, we can just kind of have them shoot at whatever they can hit. More Dissension effect we want in the kind of the biggest area of the battlefield. And honestly, we just keep kiting. Let's actually get these Slingers shooting at the enemy Lord. And we can go ahead and Howling Warp Gale him right now, which is going to lock him in place. This is going to be really good. So we can keep shooting him here, and we'll have the Skaven Slave Slingers come and hit him, and good. So Skrulk's in the front line. Things seem to be going pretty well. Let's grab this Doom Wheel and cycle charge it back into this big blob of Savage Orcs, which is definitely going to be good. And honestly, we can just leave that one fighting right there. I don't think that's too threatening. And it looks like he's still able to get up in the air. I really don't like how that works. So we can use the Rod of Corruption right here. Oh, it looks like a big curse coming down. So let's drop the Vermintide in the back and shut down these Goblin Archers. And we can also use a Pestilent Breath right here, which is going to kind of ramshackle those guys. So, oh yeah, 1-2 punch. Oh yeah, look at that. That's some juicy stuff right there. So his Lord is kind of trapped down. Let's go ahead and check on the Doom Wheels. You can honestly leave Doom Wheels in sustained combat. You don't always have to cycle charge them, but it's good to pull them back occasionally to kind of punish your opponent for over-focusing. Our Warlock Engineer seems to be doing pretty good. He's able to focus the enemy Lord pretty aggressively here with that Howling Warp Gale. And let's get the Doom Wheel over this direction. It looks like we have cracked that front line pretty aggressively. So the Greenskin front line is buckling right now. Skrulk's in pretty good shape. I do have the Libra Bubonicus, so it's going to get even worse for that Flying Lord right now. So let's get our Sensor Bearers, and I feel like the Sensor Bearers perform really well here. So we do get that Libra Bubonicus. Doom Wheel, do we want to bring it down here? We could. So let's bring this one down here. Actually, we already have a Doom Wheel fighting here. So let's see how many kills it has. It has 25 kills, which isn't bad. So we'll double Doom Wheel to kind of collapse here, because I feel like we have like a huge superiority up here. Let's get our Skirmishers kind of advancing to pressure his troops in the back and get them going after the enemy Skirmishers. And this Doom Wheel, we can go ahead and pull back real quick. And I think, honestly, he's going to get hit with army losses pretty soon. We've been doing a ton of damage, guys. So is there anything we want to bless with Filth? I don't really think we need to, honestly. We didn't use that too much this game, but it doesn't mean it's not good. But yeah, things are going well. Skrulk, he's getting all rat dirty over here. Just Master Splinter getting a little bit crazy. Let's pull these extra spears we just totally forgot about. Let's get this Doom Wheel. Yeah, just riding down the last of his infantry, to be honest. But oh no, he's going to get us. So our Skaven Slave Slingers are about to meet their end. Let's get these spears over there to help him out. So I feel like the Doom Wheels were really hard for the Greenskin infantry to handle, for sure. And the fact that his War Boss got compromised so early on was really big for us. Let's pull him back. The Orc War Boss is just running into the Shadow Realm because of the Libra Bubonicus. And I wonder how this Plague attack would do. Probably not too good, but you know what? I'm just going to try it for science. So, yeah, it's better against like bunched up units. So I don't think that's going to be like, you know, terribly great there. So we'll just keep all these guys going. Let's get the Plague Monks and the Sensor Bearers here and just kind of march them over this direction. It looks like everything my opponent has is pretty much shattered. The Doom Wheels were able to do a pretty good job. So now it's just a matter of our Gutter Runners chasing these guys down. So we can actually get the Doom Wheel. So let's get one here, and this one can go. Does he have anything else we want to chase? Maybe that Goblin Big Boss. Look at our Slingers just putting in work. And yeah, they didn't take too much damage from that little charge. Probably pretty happy about that, right? All right, cool. So let's get our Gutter Runners up, kind of pushing back these Skirmishers. And they're so darn good at that, because if you guys look, they actually do have physical ward save of 20%. And I think they have snare nets too. Does that? No, that only pertains to movement speed. So yeah, they're going to do pretty good at kind of pushing off all these Greenskin Skirmishers. Definitely pretty important, because I think the Greenskin Skirmishers aren't bad at all. So let's get these guys going here. The Mighty Doom Wheel can charge into these Orc Boars. And yeah, I don't know what else my opponent can do. His forces are pretty tattered. He does get a pretty nice charge, but the Doom Wheel is pretty good. Greenskins are a faction that are very like susceptible to like fear and terror routing and different things like that. And I'm surprised his army hasn't like had army losses yet. I don't know what he still has here. So let's get the Doom Wheels and just kind of ramshackle his lords and heroes right here. I think that's going to be the most important thing, because once the leadership's gone, the rest of the army will start to like kind of follow in suit. And let's see. So he does have some guys over here, some Goblin Archers, and how did I miss those guys? I guess they're just kind of lurking in the shadows. We're about to run out of ammunition on these guys too, but you know, it looks like he's about to get hit with yeah, everything's just going to start breaking right here. Skrulk and the boys, we can go ahead and cast. And I wonder if Pestilent Breath would pertain to missile attacks too. Let's go ahead and I think yeah, they already have poison, so that isn't necessary. But I wonder if it would, like if you were playing like a 2v2 game. I'm pretty sure it would. All right, so the Doom Wheels are chasing these guys off, and Doom Wheels actually aren't bad for like going after the lords. I mean, they work like a chariot in that they do have a pretty good charge bonus of 50 and when they get in there, but they're also very much similar to like the Mighty Black Coach. So when you leave them in like sustained combat, like look at this guy is just running from me. I'm not sure what he's hoping to accomplish. I don't think he has any chance of coming back without his with his lord being gone like that. Yeah, and it looks like that's going to be all she wrote. So yeah, let's take a look at the comp, guys. So the Plague Monks and the Sensor Bears really dominated that frontline engagement. Like the Black Orcs buckled, but I think the big reason why the Black Orcs went down so hard was because of the Doom Wheels. Like these things were just a terror in the night. Probably caused, like literally, the pun completely intended. I feel like it was causing fear and terror in the front line, not among the Black Orcs, but the Orc Boys. So then the Orc Boys kind of got terror routed, and then the Sensor Bears and the Plague Monks were able to kind of just outnumber these Black Orcs. And Skrulk in the front, also very good. He does have that what's that thing called? The staff, the Rod of Corruption. I think that did pretty well against the Black Orcs, and then also having the Warlock Engineer. So such good utility. And obviously I think some of the best Greenskin Lords, like in a competitive sense, I think Wurzog's very good. I think Azag is amazing. Having a Fate Abuna and Spirit Leech, like just and that mobility on 110 speed plus poison and just good stats, like they're really good. So having the Howling Warp Gale, it's a very cheap investment. And even if they don't bring flying guys, you're still getting a pretty decent combatant. And he also has a Mortis Engine effect if you bring that item, making him very, very good. And lastly, I do think the gutter runners with poison are pretty good. You saw I was able to counter skirmish, whereas if I didn't have these skirmishers, he probably would have been able to get this goon squad right here of the Death's Creepers, and this is like one of my favorite things to do. I love bringing the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, the Morgrips, the Ancient Marauders, and Death's Creepers, and just going after high value targets, because you get your AP, you get your poison, you get just a lot of goodness over there. So he would have been able to probably chase the Doom Wheels freely, but since I was able to kind of out-skirmish him, and then actually capture his Lord with the Howling Warp Gale and focus him down was a really big game-changing point. Had that Lord, for example, been able to sit behind his infantry, use the Wa, and then countercharge my Doom Wheel, that Wyvern with the anti-large, or not anti-large, but with the armor piercing and poison would have been able to do really well against the Doom Wheel, I think. So yeah, just a few little things there for sure. I do like the Orc Boy pick. I do think bringing the Orc Boy Biggins is probably worth it, because the Skaven do have a fair amount of large. I mean, you have the Doom Wheel. Probably won't see Hell Pit Abominations too much in this matchup, but again, like there could be a Warlord on a Bone Breaker. You know, the Grey Seer atop his altar is large, and it's like the stat difference isn't that big, and getting that extra anti-large I think is really worth it against Doom Wheels. Broken Tusk Mob, I think, are Broken Tusk Mob immune to Psychology? I'm not sure, but they do have more armor. I think they would be a pretty good pick in this matchup as well. So anyways, very well played to my opponent Yoshimo. Look forward to running into it again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that Skaven versus Greenskin showdown. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.